Alrighty, hey everyone, welcome back. All you, well, I don't know where to begin. It was a pretty good weekend overall. Bitcoin is up actually, so that's nice to see. So Bitcoin is kind of rebounding here. Miners right now in the after hours or pre-hours are actually kind of going up quite nicely as well. So maybe, just maybe, cooler heads are prevailing here, and we won't have this panic sell-off like we had earlier or late last week actually. We'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at also how the miners have done against Bitcoin this past week and how the miners are doing right now against Bitcoin for the past month here. So basically the month of October here. They are still up, generally really nice up compared to Bitcoin is. So maybe that narrative has completely changed on the miners, where the miners are now running more for their potential on AI than they are on Bitcoin mining prowess. But we'll take a look at that. We do have some that are actually down. Not too many, but there are a couple that are down for the month of October, but still doing better, I think, than Bitcoin. We'll take a look at all that. Okay, and then we'll get into Q&A, so it should be pretty short and sweet. I took it kind of easy this weekend. I was actually kind of tired today, so I didn't do much. Kind of relaxed, watched some football games, and that was it. I've been running, as you guys know, gung-ho for the past couple of weeks, doing the basement and doing all the research for the show as well and all that stuff, so I kind of needed a day off. So today was my day off. Okay, all right, let's get into it here. So as always, you guys know the drill. Not financial advice, freedom only. Do your own research. Full disclosure below that. Hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. And thank you so much for coming in on this Sunday night. Greatly appreciate all you guys and gals that are in the show. But let's get into what's going on here with the Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin had a nice rebound here today on Sunday. It went up to a high of 109,499. We did go back above the 200 simple day moving average, which was nice to see. I wanted to see that, and we did see that. So that's good there. The RSI is looking pretty good also right now as it is. So I'm pretty happy about that right now. Bitcoin's up a little bit here on the new day as well. It was down a little bit below the 200, but it bounced off of it, which is also another good sign here. We'll see where we end up tomorrow, Monday, because we have seen it where on the weekends or even after hours, we can be up, and then we'll find ourselves being red, during the day tomorrow or early tomorrow morning. We'll see. But right now, things are looking pretty good here. The miners obviously weren't trading over the weekend here. We'll take a look at what they are doing right now in after hours. But so far, this is looking pretty good. Like I said, hopefully cooler heads are prevailing here, and they're buying up some of these miners that have been beaten down here in the last 2 days. BTC right now is up 3.5% in the after hours, which is nice to see there. Bitfarms is up quite nicely as well. It is up 8.78% back to $5.45 there. Cypher is up also nicely, 5.44%. It is up to 1978 right now as it is. Cleanspark doing pretty good also. It is up, let's see, where does it end up at? 2.43%, 2.6, wow. Okay, there's some trading going on. 2.54% up to $20.02 it looks like on that one. Core, let's take a look at Core. Core is up 0.63% right now. Hive is up 2.1% to $5.83. Hut 8 is up 6.25% to $51.49. That one's doing good as well. IREN here, let's see when this loads. This one's up 5 let's see where it ends up at. Still some trades going on. Okay, 4.83% right now at 63.65. Mara is at 3.63% at $20.28. Riot is up 2.65% to $20.56 there. That seems kind of weird though. October 15th. Why is it showing October 15th? That seems weird there on it. Seems like they got some wrong data on that one, but it's up actually pre-hours here. TeraWolf is doing pretty good as well. It's up 3.59% up to $14.43 there. And Soluna Holdings is pumping again after hours. It is at 12.44% right now at $4.97 on that one. Okay, so things are looking pretty good in the miners here, at least in pre-market hours. We'll see where they go tomorrow, though. Nobody has a crystal ball on that one. Bitcoin ETF inflows here. We saw outflows happening on Friday, obviously. BlackRock, people that have IBIT there, were selling out 268 million there. So we were down 366, and we've had a rough streak here last week in Bitcoin. You can see that we've had, 4 out of the 5 days were red. We only had one positive day, which was on Tuesday, it looks like, on this one. Okay, Bitcoin right now for the month of October is only down 4.45%. Hopefully, we can still squeak out a green month for October, as historically, October has been an Uptober for us. We'll see if this is going to be one of those weird years, and October is going to be down for us. But historically, in bull run years like 2025, which it should be, it has been in the positive here on the green side of things. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the miners here, see how they did. We're going to take a look at not the monthly because we looked at that already, but I think I should have the latest data on some of the other things here. And where is my data though? I got to find it here. So bear with me while I pull this in. Let me see here. I'm going too far back. Where did it go? Weekly. Let's see. Quarterly, shorted. No, don't want that. More. Well, it's got to be. All right, let's go to the weekly first. We'll do the weekly first on this. And then we'll get into everything else here. And I need to update this chart as well. Okay, bear with me. For some reason, I didn't update. I thought I did already. Sort descending. Okay, there we go. That looks better. All right, so we always look at this chart to see where the miners are up from the 52-week lows and how far away they are from the 52-week highs here. We can see IREN from its 52-week low is up 1,084%, which is really, really good. I'm sure all you guys that are in IREN are loving it. I am loving it. Cypher also up 908% there from its low. Hive, remember if you go back a couple weeks back, probably about maybe, I don't know, 4 or 6 weeks back or something like that, Hive was down towards the end there out of the group here. But Hive has definitely rallied here recently. It's up 353% here, which is nice to see as well. BitDeer is up 251%, Riot 223%, Core up 206%, Cleanspark 202%, Kango up 142%. Marathon now actually above Bitcoin here at 99.5%, and Bitcoin is only up 73%. And Strategy, like we've talked about here many, many times here in the past couple of weeks, Strategy is not doing that great compared to Bitcoin right now. It's only up 41.5% here. Okay. And you can see how far the miners are away from the 52-week highs here. We got obviously Core being pretty close to that. IREN's down 18% from that. Cypher's down 14%. Hive is down 27%. BitDeer down 13%, down 16% for Riot there. Cleanspark's down 17%. Kango's down 57% from its 52-week high. Marathon down 35%. Bitcoin's down 10% right now. And Strategy is down 46% from its high. So it's still way under from where it probably should be. Or maybe it's just getting valued that way right now. All right, looking at the weekly chart here, we can see here, this should have been also, why didn't this do it? All right, sort, descending, here we go. All right, BitDeer. BitDeer still had a really good gains here this past week. Let me make sure I'm pulling in the right data here on the dates on this. It should be, because I have the date updated there. Let me see, 10/17, 10/17, yep, okay, we're good there. On that, just wanted to double check. All right, so BitDeer had a great week nonetheless here, right? Being up 35%, Cypher up 11%, Marathon up 5%, Core up 3%, IREN up 2%, Cleanspark being up 1%, Bitcoin being flat more or less, Kango being down 4%, Riot down 5%, Strategy down 5%, and Hive being down 14% on the week. So overall, with Bitcoin being more or less flat, but I track it by Friday to Friday, and still that seems off to me. Why does that seem off to me? Let me double check here. 10/17. 10/10, we were down 9,000 at that point. Is that right? Maybe it is right. Let me see here. And that's pulling in the right dates. 112. Let me see here. There's where I'm looking at the difference. 106. Okay, we're down 6,000 on that one. Those dates for the stocks ended markets should be 10/17. So hopefully those are pulling in all the right dates there. Let's double check my work before we go on and I give you guys wrong information. Miners, let's see here, past week. This is pulling in BitDeer table. On that, it's from here, so that should be correct. 624, it's up 35%. Okay, compared to everything else. Okay. All right, so Bitcoin's down 6%. Miners still have outperformed here for the most part on the weekly here. Looking at the 4 weeks chart, we can see that Bitcoin's down 3%. Everybody else has outperformed except for Strategy. Strategy is down. Best performers here have been Hive, 62%, along with Cypher, 64%, followed by, it looks like Cleanspark, 51%, then BitDeer, 48%, and IREN, 45%. So everybody is at least quite nicely outperforming, or at least outperforming there. On the 4 weeks, on the 8 weeks, things look even more different there. Bitcoin's down 2% from 8 weeks ago. Everybody's, tremendously outperforming here, Bitcoin, what Bitcoin has done here, which is awesome to see. We would have expected this with Bitcoin running up here, but Bitcoin's not running up. Bitcoin's been kind of flat here, more or less. It's been going up a little bit, but it's not what we would have expected, what we saw back in 2021 or 2017 as well, during the bull run cycles here. But Bitcoin this time around is, it's been, I think, overtaken by institutions and everything else. It's just going up slowly here. We're not seeing that FOMO coming in from what we saw in the past from retail. Okay, so you can see here, Cypher's up 146%, IREN's up 129%, Cleanspark's up 106%, Hive 94%, followed by BitDeer at 68%. Then you got Riot at 46%. And underperformers are Kango down 13% and Strategy down 13% there from 8 weeks ago. And on the 12 weeks, well, we got to scroll up here even more. At that point, we can see Bitcoin's down 6% from 12 weeks ago currently. And miners that are outperforming are still like IREN 294%, Cypher 281%, Hive 181%. Who else do we have here? BitDeer up 98%, Cleanspark up 87%, Riot up 82%, Core up 50%, Marathon is only up 26%, but still outperforming. And again, we see Kango being down 7%, underperforming, along with Strategy, they're being down 21%. So kind of interesting to look at that as well on the different time frames of how things have been progressing. So that's what makes me think that Bitcoin is no longer as important as it has been in the past for the miners to pump their stocks up. They're more running on AI potential. In a sense, it's great for us, right? But that original theory that I had of BTC and BTC miners running more on BTC price going up, well, that's kind of out the window, at least right now, unless Bitcoin does start running up nicely here to 150,000, 180,000 by the end of the year. And then when we see the miners running on top of that as well, then, okay, that might be partially correct. But nonetheless, it is, we got into these guys because they were growing tremendously, like IREN, Cleanspark, Cypher, BitDeer, Hive as well, right? Because they're getting more and more megawatts to build out their Bitcoin mining potential. But it turns out that they can use that AI or that megawatts as well for AI, which is now being a big boom for them. So great to see that. I know I'm extremely happy by it. I'm extremely happy by the progress of these stocks here. It has been life-changing not only for myself, but I'm sure for a lot of you guys as well. So I'm extremely happy about that. All right, lastly, we're going to take a look at how the miners have done so far in the month of March. Wow, why am I thinking of March? The month of October here, stock performance. Here we go. I have it, I don't have it in a chart here, but I do have it down here for the table. Okay, so we can see these guys here. Let me zoom this in for you guys so you guys can see it probably better. Let's go 200% on this. And there you go. So there's a table that we have, right, for these guys here. And we can see here, let me see here. I think I have it in order here. I do. Okay. So Bitfarms is up huge, 77.6% here in the month of October. Cypher, same thing, 49%. Hive, 41%. BitDeer up 40%. Hut 8 up 39%. Cleanspark up 34%. IREN up 30%. Marathon up 7%. CORZ Scientific only up about 5.9, almost 6% there. Riot's up 5%. Bitcoin is actually down 8.26% on that one. That's going back to 9:30, right? So whatever the closing price was at 9:30 at that date. And we're looking at what the current date what prices were as of Friday of last week. So the miners, like I said, are still outperforming. So yes, we've had 2 rough days here. Obviously, Thursday was not a great day. We had a big drop in price on a lot of these guys here. But you got to sometimes zoom out a little bit and see that, yes, these things have run kind of hot here. So a little bit of pullback was probably needed. A little bit of a healthy thing or healthy event as well for that to happen. So I'm still happy with it. And like I said, you gotta zoom out sometimes, right? I know, like I said, it's painful when it does happen because you're seeing your basically net assets, your portfolio going down. You're like, oh my gosh, right? You're panicking at that time. You're double guessing yourself whether or not you should be selling or not. You should, and you, kind of fear setting in at that point, right? Did I make the right mistake for holding these things or whatnot going forward here? But I think sometimes you just need to zoom out. And when you zoom out, you see the progress that these guys have made here, these stocks, especially in the last, I would say, 48 weeks or so, even 12 weeks going back to some of these guys. So I don't think that this run is over yet. The AI potential is outstanding. It's kind of a little bit immeasurable as well as far as what it could do, not only for society, but for individual humans as well, going forward from medicine, law, everything in between that, as well as education, all that stuff. That is all eventually going to be changed, taken over by AI, and for the betterment of humanity, I think. So there's still a huge potential, but there's also, you need to build out a lot of these data centers here that are going to be needed for it. And I was watching the All In podcast today, and Chamath made a good point, right? A lot of these guys like Google, Meta, OpenAI even, and well, maybe not so much OpenAI, but Amazon and stuff like that. We're seeing that some communities are pushing back on data centers And well, that's because they're afraid of their electricity prices going up. They're also afraid of reduction in water that's going to be available to them. And Chamath made a good point there. All these companies that have a huge stockpile of cash should, use that for spreading goodwill in the communities, as far as either covering their excuse me, covering their electrical expenses or something like that. I mean, it's still going to be a drop in the bucket compared to what they're going to be making here. So there's ways that they can do that, put in a bunch of goodwill into the communities that they serve. And Cleanspark, if you guys recall, Cleanspark has been one of those companies that has been doing that, where they are actually helping the communities. Yes, they're maybe not the lowest priced or lowest cost Bitcoin miner, but they are helping the communities where they work in. And they're also getting other communities asking them to come in because of that, because they're seeing the other communities, having to possibly being able to lower the property taxes, getting lower electricity rates. All those things are, important to the communities there, right? You don't want to go into a community and have people be PO'd about you being there because their electricity prices are going up, water rates are going up, whatever, or there's a shortage of water, right? So you need to do a lot of goodwill, I think, in this, especially with all these big companies that do have a lot of these this capital that's just kind of sitting on the books right now. They could use that. And like I said, it'd be a drop in the bucket for them, right? I mean, if you service a community of, 10,000, 20,000 homes, how much is that going to cost you a month to operate it? And how much are you going to be actually getting back from that in the long run anyways? So I thought it was kind of interesting. If you guys don't watch the All In podcast, definitely watch that, because they do have a lot of good alpha there and a lot of good ideas and different opinions as well, right? You got some opinions from the right side, some opinions from the left side as well. But it's a great mixing pot of ideas. And I greatly appreciate what they do here. They don't have to do that. I mean, most of those guys are probably millionaires, billionaires anyways, but they still do it because they feel like they can provide some kind of, maybe a little bit of alpha and a little bit of insight as far as what's going on in the industries that they work in. So, but yeah, that is it. So let's get into Q&A here. We'll call it a day at that point. And as always, I'll get this spreadsheet updated to the Patreon members tomorrow probably. And yeah, we'll see whatever happens later on this week. We got some more data that we can look at the miners, how they performed in October against Bitcoin itself. We'll look at all those things later on this week. And then we're going to start getting the quarterly results for the miners already, which is crazy that we've already been through another quarter and we're getting reports already. But that'll be happening probably towards the end of the month here and into early November as well. So a lot of stuff happening there. We'll continue to chug along as always. But yeah, I'm still bullish, extremely bullish actually, on this space going forward here, and the best is yet to come, I think. But we shall see. I could be wrong, right? No guarantees in life, I guess, on that one. But we're still up nicely, so I'm not complaining right now. All right, let's get into Q&A here. See what you guys have to say. Anything and anything. Let's go here. Q&A. And if you guys would be so kind to preface a question with a question mark or a Q, I would appreciate it. And I'm going to work my way up and work my way down as always. And then we'll get through all of the questions eventually. It may take me a little while, but we will get through it all. All right, let's scroll up and see what we got here. Okay. Guy says, Cleanspark looks strong, getting to $40 in a couple of months. Can we look at your EPT this year? Estimated price target for this year, please? Well, I mean, I have them between, let's see, take a look at Cleanspark here really quick. I think it's between $25 and $35. I think it's somewhere around there. Let's take a look at that one. Okay, it's actually, here we go. Where is it at? Browser is where I want to go. I have them between $22.79 and $34.19 right now as it is, right? And I'm not giving them a higher multiple right now because they don't have anything for HPCI business-wise. They are working towards that. Once they do get something for that and get some revenue going, we'll probably bump them up to a little bit higher PE multiple there. But if we did bump them up to a 20, like we have IREN here, we'd be looking at 30 to 45. So yeah, if we get to $40, that'd be kind of in line with what I would be seeing also as well in a couple months if they provide something on that aspect as well. So not too far off, but yeah, still more room to run for this one for sure. All right, let's get back here. What else we got? Sauer says, these stocks would be in the crapper if it wasn't for AI. BTC has become irrelevant. I don't know if Bitcoin has become irrelevant. It has been definitely overtaken by institutions, I think. And they're just going to let it run up for maybe an extended period of time here. It's to their interest, to their best interest to do that, right? It's not in their best interest to have the Bitcoin go up on a huge parabolic rise to like 180,000, 200,000, then come back down to, 100,000. That's not in their interest, because that might be in their interest, I guess, because they could short it on the way down too. But most of these ETFs, right? They have basically customers there. They want those customers to be happy with the price they're offering, and they want those things to continue to go up, right? We could be going down, obviously, at times, but for the most part, they want it to go up so people buy into it some more. All right. Let's see. No Name Channel says, so glad we have a Sunday show. I'm not the only one that does it on Sunday. There's others that do it as well. But thank you for coming in. SK, what Cypher price do you see by end of year? Cypher, I mean, if they get a couple more deals here for Barber Lake and other sites as well that they're building out, we could see them higher from where they are right now. Let me see, where do I have them at right now? Right now, I have them between, mine's kind of low. Mine's 1546 to 2318 on them currently, but that's not pricing in any future AI revenue, right? So if they get some more revenue, they'll definitely bump them up there as well, right? So let's say they get another deal for another $300 million annual run rate on top of what they are getting right now. So that would get them to about 600 million at that point. We're looking at $23 to $34 for them, somewhere around there. So that's kind of where I would see things, right? And if they get multiple deals, depending what the deals are, they could definitely go up higher from there. But right now, all we have is the 300 million annual run rate that's going to be happening sometime next year. So that's kind of where we are looking at them right now. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Fairfax says, hi Seb, big miner week this week ahead. What's happening with the miners this week? What's going on there? What am I missing? What did I get an invite for? SK, is there any news on Cypher's Neo pivot? They're obviously talking about it. They're thinking about it. There's nothing concrete on it. They haven't posted anything as far as buying miners, or not buying miners, buying GPUs for the Neo Cloud side of things. So we'll see. But it should, I shouldn't say should. It looks like they're working towards the direction. So we'll see. All right. Okay, SK question, is Bitdeer looking to buy GPUs? Yes, they are. They already have some GPUs operating already, and they are looking to buy more as well, I believe. So, I mean, they have a lot of growth possibly happening into later on this year and into next year as well. They got a big development pipeline. Brent, hey Seb, what's your price target for Cleanspark? Short and long-term targets. I kind of talked about that. I mean, I have it between $22 and $35 right now as it is. So that's kind of where I would like to see them be between, at least right now. And then when they do actually do something for AI, whether it's going for their own Neo Cloud or getting a customer or something like that, we could definitely see them up much higher from there. Okay. SK, question, is Wolf a good buy? Yeah, I believe Wolf is a good buy. I'm a little worried about the convertible notes that they just got now, or not convertible, senior notes, right, which don't convert. And those things are kind of expensive, 7.25% on those. It's like $240 some odd million that they have to pay a year. Yes, they're getting money from FluidStack and Google there backing it, but that's still costly. I think they should be okay. But yeah, I mean, as long as they grow and they continue to build out data centers and they grow, they should be fine on that part. And they'll probably grow some more. All right. CG, question, Seb, is your portfolio hitting all-time highs? It was Wednesday. Wednesday hit a new all-time high on Wednesday, and then obviously we had a decline on Thursday and Friday. Took a big chunk out of it, not a big chunk, but took definitely a good bite out of it. So I wasn't happy about that, but we're in a pretty volatile sector when it comes to these guys. All right, D-Roy, smash the like button. I appreciate that. SK, what price do you see Wolf by end of year? Wolf, I mean, geez. Where's Wolf right now? Wolf is at $13.93. I mean, we could possibly see them closer to like $20 by the end of the year, I think. Right, but we need some news from them as well, as far as getting another customer in there, and not only having they got two customers. They got Core 42, and gosh, I'm trying to blank on. I just talked about it. FluidStack. FluidStack is the other one. So somewhere around there. HB, Cleanspark and Hive are transitioning to AI data centers as well, right? Yes. Hive bought a data center in Toronto, I believe. That one is like 5 or 7 megawatts, small, but they're converting that into a tier 3 data center, and they're going to be trying to do like sovereign AI for like the government, operations, things like that. So that could be quite profitable for them as well. And then how close are they to being operational? Like I said, Hive is retrofitting a site that they bought. Don't know how fast it's going to be done. I'm guessing within the next 3 months, I'm guessing, something like that. Since it's already like a tier 1 or tier 2 data center site, and they're going to just do a tier 3 on top of it. So they're just going to do some redundancies there. As long as the items don't have a really long lead time, I would think somewhere around 3 to 4 months. Maybe 3 to 6 months, I would say, just to give a little buffer there. Okay. And then as far as Cleanspark has a bunch of sites. They got quite a few. They got 2 or 3 good sites around Atlanta, Georgia area. Those sites could be quickly retrofitted as well, but we don't have any concrete information from them right now. All right. Let's see here. Midwest Island here. Question for those of us that was late on IREN, which one is better to get in, Cypher or BitDeer? Oh, that's a good question there. Both have a lot of megawatts potential going forward. I'm not sure if Cypher has, but Cypher's going to be out probably 2020, sometime towards the end of 2026, 2027, into 2028 even. BitDeer, I'm not sure what their time frame is. I mean, BitDeer provides all of their sites and what the progress is on it. We could probably take a look at that as well and compare it. So it's, tough question on that one. I would probably get into both, to be honest with you, but that's up to you there. All right. Fairfax says it will be green, not to worry. I'm guessing later on this week, Fairfax, but feels like it's down more than 4%. Bitcoin or something else? Let's see, MJS. I'm adding BIMF stock and December 18 call options on Cleanspark. Are you buying? I'm guessing Bitfarms. I'm guessing you're buying Bitfarms stock there. I am not buying. I wish I could be buying. I've said this before. I'm putting in all the cash into fixing up the basement here. So the cash that I would have normally had to invest is going into that because I want to get that done within the next couple of months. I don't want to be in construction for the next year. I want to get this done and over with, and I want to relax and take it easy for a little bit before I start another project at that point. But I would be, if I wasn't doing this, I would be definitely buying in on the dips. All right, John Kurtz, does Cypher mid to long term have the edge over Cleanspark, Bitfarms, and Hive? Read where some investors are still unimpressed with Hive management dragging their feet. Well, they've gotten better with ASICs for mining Bitcoin, right? They've had a nice improvement in hash rate growth, which is one of the things that I've also kind of blasted them on for the lack of ambition and growth in Bitcoin mining. Now, when it comes to AI is something that's obviously different here. They just recently started getting into it, like a couple months back. They started mentioning that they're getting into it. They have had their Buzz Hive, or Hive Buzz, what do they call it, which is their AI cloud services. They've had GPUs that they, at one point, were using for Ethereum mining. Remember that? And this is going back probably now 2 years or so. So they did transition those over into HPCI business, more or less, but they were generating about 1 million or so roughly in revenue from what I recall. And yeah, they just need to, I think all of these guys obviously need to put the pedal to the metal here on AI and try to either, one, do it themselves, kind of similar to IREN, or try really, really hard to get a deal with somebody. But as far as, is Cypher a better bet over Cleanspark and Bitfarms? They might be, because they already have a customer there, so that gives them some credibility there with other customers as well, especially getting FluidStack there as well and being backed by Google on that. That is a huge credibility boost there as well. So right now they do have the edge, I think, a little bit. But things can change in the space quickly. All right, CG says it's time for Mara to pop. It might. I mean, it's got to come out with some good news or something on getting into HPCI and fast. Fairfax, miners are making a fortune and Wall Street finally gets it. Well, yeah. Sometimes Wall Street's a little late to the party. NG, are these HPCI long-term play? Will it go up like Palantir, hold it to the moon? That, I don't know, right? We all think that these things have a lot more potential going forward, but nobody knows for sure. If you guys recall, last year we had the DeepSeek scare that came out. Everything basically dropped on that. Plus, we had the tariffs that Trump was battling with. So everything went down. I mean, Bitcoin went down like 30%. Miners got beaten down even more. They went down like 50, 60. Some of them even went down 70% at that point. So as long as we don't have anything like that happening again, they should continue to run here. And as long as they continue to provide good updates, like from IREN, if IREN continues to buy more GPUs, getting to 60,000 GPUs, the stock is going to run on that. Others as well, if they're getting to their own neo cloud business, they will run on that. Or if they get any kind of deals, they will run on that as well. The demand is still outstanding for all the megawatts that are going to be needed there. So eventually, things are going to go up even more, I think. Fairfax, see here. I think it's a shift out of the treasury stocks to more valuable miner stocks. Okay, well, that could be it too. Morton, BTC is waiting for all clear, more rate cuts, China deal, no recession, GDP. Yeah, but that would be definitely very, very helpful there. People will be shocked how fast it runs when we get the all clear. Being the cowardly asset, it depends on safe macro. Yeah, and then you also have the rotation possibly from people that have bought a bunch of gold here, right? They might rotate over into that as well. So yes, MJS, can we get a sense of the current availability of megawatts for the miners 2025 and what's going on, what's going to come in line 2026 for each miner? We do obviously have some updates. We do know that IREN's going to be getting 2 gigawatts, plus they're working on more sites as well that we don't know about yet. Cypher is getting about 1.7 gigawatts, I believe, in 2026, 2027 as well. So there's that growth. BitDeer, same type of deal. They have a lot of growth. I'm not sure the exact number of megawatts that they have available for them in the next 2 years, but those guys are growing absolutely. Bitfarms is working to get more power, excuse me, at the sites they have in Pennsylvania, which from what I understand, both sites, Scrubgrass, I think, and oh gosh, what's the other one? The other one, I keep drawing a blank on that other one. But the 2 sites there, each might have the potential for 1 gigawatt each. If they can pull that off, that would be freaking fantastic there. So there is still a lot of megawatts happening there. Cleanspark, on the other hand, has a pipeline of megawatts that they're working on. I think it's, what do they say, 1.7 gigawatts or something like that, a pipeline or something like that. But like I said before, a pipeline is just a pipe dream until you actually sign the contracts and have all this stuff done. But I wouldn't be surprised if they pull something off because, I mean, just look at the performance here over the last 4 years since they got into Bitcoin mining, right? They came in pretty much late to the party and became basically one of the top miners here in 4 years. So I don't take anything away from them on being able to pull this off as well. Who else do we have here? Talked about Bitfarms as well. Hut 8 has a lot of, they're developing, I think, 1.5 or 1.7 gigawatts also right now that's in development for them. It's signed for and everything else, so they're working on that. I'm trying to think, who else am I missing here? I talked about Cypher. Mara, we don't know anything about Mara. Riot obviously has Corsicana and Rockdale. Those combined are 1.7 gigawatts, I think. So they have still some megawatts there that can be used for AI. Other than that, who am I missing there? I think Wolf, I'm not sure about Wolf though, off the top of my head here. So yeah, all these guys still have a lot of megawatts to go. Okay, let's see here. John Kurtz, Dub Bears. Yeah, their QB and RB looked great again. I watched the game. It was a fun game to watch. Nice win, but yeah, we get some people that get mad at us when we talk about Bears game on the show, so we won't do that. All right, Kronz, people with money spread their goodwill, LOL. Let's see what else we got here. Rob, which stock has more hype in regards to AI, HPC data center aspects, Hive or Bitfarms? Bitfarms does. Right now, Bitfarms definitely does have more. Okay, AJ, what about BitDeer and Cypher? Right, a lot of megawatts to go still, a lot of building out. BitDeer, I'm starting to really like BitDeer as far as what they're doing is their growth in hash rate for Bitcoin mining, and then also letting an LOI, letter of intent, to basically expire for their Ohio site, which means they can, do more for that for themselves. So there's possibility there as well. Both of them right now are really good. My only concern with BitDeer has always been the Chinese ties there, right? I don't know how founded those are, but that's always been my concern there on that one. Okay, let's see. Carlisle, what's your current price target for Bitfarms? Bitfarms right now I think should be somewhere between $6 and $10. Right, they're operating very, very well here. They're building out. They got the $300 million to use on their project financing for Panther Creek. There's the name. Game just came back to me. Site. So they're working towards that. I believe they should be up higher from where they are right now. All right, Midwest Thailand. Question, why is Mara not going up when they have a stake in Axion or Axion, however you want to pronounce that? Yeah, because it's a stake, and I mean, Axion isn't that, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe they were the company that builds data centers or something like that. But building data centers and actually having AI for yourself or for your customers is different. I think that's maybe why. All right. What is your take on Bitcoin Core 30? Yeah, there's some varying opinions on that one. I don't know on which side I stand, at least right now. I need to do some more research on that. But it's going to be obviously up to the miners here to vote on it, whether or not they go with the consensus or not. So it's going to be up to them to decide, more so than us. I mean, I can give you guys my thoughts on it and things like that, but it's not going to change anything as far as unless the miners go for it as well. So we'll see. All right, NG, is there a speech talk from Ben that will happen today? Monday, yes. He is joining Kama Sutra on X along with, I think, a Bitcoin Butcher as well. I'm not sure. That's happening after the close of trading, which I think might be like 3:30. Correct. I'm not sure exactly the time, but it's happening afterwards, I believe. So Ben is keeping his word there. Stock got to $5, and he's going back on the show there. I'll be tuning in as well, listening to that because that's going to be a pretty good show there. Or at least I'm going to try to. All right. And thanks so much for hit the like button reminder. A perfect day question. Any guess when Ben from Bitfarms will talk about, what will he talk about on Monday? He mentioned it on X. I'm guessing there's going to be more questions from Kama Sutra there, right? As far as what's going on so far, what's their plans going forward with AI, where are they in the process, all that stuff. I think it's going to be a bunch of those things. Should be about a half an hour to an hour maybe show. And I'm sure they're going to have some great questions there for them as well. Those guys do a great job. Let's see, what else we have. All right, Gary says, I agree with Starmelon. If AI HPC didn't exist, IREN would be sitting around $10 to $15, and we would be talking about how extremely optimistic Reggie's $24 price target was. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, if it wasn't for that, yeah, we'd be like banging our heads on the walls, like, what the heck is going on with Bitcoin? Why is it not going up? We need this thing to go up. But yeah, narrative has definitely changed here. Leo asks, what's with Bitcoin go up now? I don't know if it's going to go up. I think it's going to be a little bit more volatile than that. We're not just going to go straight up to a new all-time high. We're going to go up a little bit. We're coming to come back down. We're going to go back up a little bit. We're going to reach a new high, come back down. We need, obviously, the tariff talks to be done and over with. China and the United States need to play nice, basically. We need the rate cuts as well and other things to play out pretty good for us in order for Bitcoin to run here. So we still have a couple more months left in the final quarter here. We'll see where we end up at that point. All right. Let's see. Kai says, hope Ben talks about the 500 million convertible notes and update on customer. Yeah. Probably won't get any updates on customer. The only thing he'll probably mention is that they are working with multiple customers or something like that, right? In talks right now. And that's about all he can say. There's nothing has been signed, so he can't say anything on that. Even if it was signed, it has to be basically put out through a press release or something like that for it to be available to the public generally. Okay. Kevin, do you think Mara is going to catch up once they have closed the deal with Axion? Like I said, I don't know. I think Axion just builds data centers. They're not like a data center operator, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong there. So I don't know if this is going to be enough. Like I said, I think they need to come out with something that they're transitioning its site or something like that, doing the Neo Cloud way or something like that for the stock to do well. All right, Anne, I want to sell my last shares of Hive for 15 Canadian. I'm picking up some natural gas ETFs, kind of related to the mining. As you know, energy prices are part of the picture. Yes, that's one of the things I'm also looking into is some of the companies that provide electricity or produce electricity even. Right, they're going to be, there's just going to be such a demand for electricity going forward here that those stocks long-term should do pretty well. All right. Let's see, Gary. IREN has the most future potential until anyone else considers NeoCloud. NeoCloud will trade like a tech stock, longer-term hosting will trade like a REIT, both good, but tech stock has more upside. I would agree with you there as well. US, do you own any gold? I do not. I don't know about this. Let's see. My wedding band is platinum, titanium. I can't remember what it is. Not gold. I do not own any gold. All right. I said in the previous call, Ben said Bitfarms will grow and expand by acquisition, but execution plan first. So Bitfarms can increase their megawatts more than what they have currently been 3 p.m. tomorrow. Okay. So basically right after the close of the market there, I believe. Yeah, I mean, they can do that for sure. Right. But first they got to execute on their own growth plan here. And then if they start generating good revenues and things like that, then they can, look to buy out something else if they wanted to. Right, kind of similar to what Hive has done. Hive bought a little data center site, and they're retrofitting that as well. All right, let's see here. Sadie, thanks so much for the likes. Likes do help the channel there. And Midwest Island question: what's your thoughts on Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi. I mean, what's their current run rate? I know they were targeting 200 million run rate at one point. Is it now down to like 160 million or something like that? I can't remember where it's at. So they do have customers, and they are building that out as well. The stock has obviously done pretty well here recently. That was a good move by, I'm drawing the blank of Sam Tabar, the CEO there. That was probably a good move, moving that out of the company from Bit Digital, and then that way that can run on itself. So they got to grow, right? They got to get more customers. They got to probably get more data centers as well. And they've been on a pretty good buying spree here recently this past year of buying small data centers, but they're buying those. And they're buying those up in like metropolitan areas as well, which is good. So they just need to grow. Then the stock will grow at that point as well. All right. Let's see what else we got here. I think that's it. We've caught up to all your questions here. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see where the miners go later on this week. We'll see what Bitcoin does. We'll see what Trump tweets and whether or not that's going to set off a poop storm at that point or not, or if we're going to be going to Valhalla, right, with these stocks. So a lot happening here in this space, and we'll definitely keep up on it at that point. Let me see. We got talking about that one. At Perfecte, thanks, Seb. You're very welcome. Thanks for coming in. SH, don't you think Bitfarms has to identify who finances their convertible on Tuesday? Once they finalize it, legally they have to announce who. Yeah, I think they do. Didn't they announce it already when they announced the 500 up conversion on that? I thought they did. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, I think they do have to finance who's running it, basically. So we'll see. All right. Love you all. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night. Hopefully this is going to be a great week for us. And yeah, we'll talk about anything and everything that happens at that point. But have a great night. I'll see you guys tomorrow.